So I'm continuing my series of Master Retro reviews with Season 2, Episode 15, Officers Only. So before we get into the episode, let's talk about members only benefits. Yes, is that awkward transition? Definitely. But if you become a channel member for $1.99 a month, you get early access to all my videos. Now, back to the actual episode, and let's talk about what Officers Only is about. Well, so let's set up the premise. A patient is in, has a pretty bad chest injury, so Chopper gets Hawkeye to come assist in the surgery. Well, Hawkeye actually does the surgery while Chopper assists, and Frank is, once they find out that it's a general's son, Frank wants to, participate so he can get some credit and all that. Typical Frank stuff. Anyhow, the general is very happy that they saved his son's life, so he gives Henry a case of, I believe, whiskey. He gives Hawkeye and Chapo 3-day passes to Tokyo, and they did a lot of crazy stuff in Tokyo, apparently. Lots of crazy stuff, like Henry was just getting phone call after phone call, people reporting their behavior on up to him. Yeah, crazy stuff. And then the general, he also, I believe General Mitchell, or was that his son's first name? Regardless, the general then gives them a officers club for the entire camp, which was Frank's idea. Which, in all honesty, Frank actually once had a good idea. An officers club is really good for the morale of the officers, not necessarily for the enlisted. And the enlisted are not that happy about it, neither are Hawkeye and Trapper, because guess who are not allowed in the old club, in the officers club? The enlisted. So basically, the enlisted basically do malicious compliance. That's the best way of describing. They're actually, snapping to your attention, saying sir at the end of every sentence. Basically, in Hawkeye and Chopper, they don't like that. They want them to cut it out. And so, they hatch a plan in order to solve the issue. So, General Mitchell's son is a private, not an officer. So, what they do is when the general comes to officially open the officers club, and basically they arrange so that way his son walks to the officers club, but he can't come in, have a drink and all that because he's enlisted. And so Hawkeye and Chopper get the general to make an exception for families of the officers. And so what does Hawkeye then do? Well, he invites the entire rest of the camp in, claiming they're all his relatives. Raider, like the son he never had. Klinger, like the daughter he never had. Cousin, brother-in-law, etc., etc., etc. Meanwhile, everyone's humming John Brown's Body, or are they humming The Battle Hymn of the Republic? It's the same tune, so it doesn't matter. I like to sing John Brown's Body because while Battle Hymn of the Republic is an amazing song and love it, John Brown's Body feels much more soldier songs than Battle Hymn of the Republic. Both good, but that's a side tangent from the actual video. So, the purpose of this episode is really just to give them a new spot where they can hang out and tell stories. And also showing that, doing a good job can sometimes actually get you recognized by other people, by people in positions of authority. Now, the Hawkeye and Chopper probably did abuse their reward a little bit, but you know what? Frank's in his selfishness did actually get something good for the camp, and then with Hawkeye and Chopper scheming, it actually became good for the whole camp, not just the officers. But there's a few other things I do want to talk about. One, this episode really does not continue any of Margaret's character development from the last episode. Again, that really won't be a thing until Kunapata arrives and Frank leaves, where Margaret will truly mature as a character. But they've already laid the groundwork. And you know what? We only got about a season and a half before Kunapata comes. Oops, spoilers. But yeah, so that is something to be aware of. That plot line has not really continued. She's still, hanging out with Frank and all that, trying to appeal to generals. But then again, she is Kuromi, so it makes sense in some regards. And really, we can break down Margaret's character. And I think for each character, I'll do a video talking about the character arc and that, and what we can infer about the character. But I'm going to wait for opportunities, so such as when a character leaves, when a character arrives, or whenever I feel like it. Again, we'll wait and see on that stuff. But there's other small fun stuff going on. One of Klinger's new stunts to try to get the army is to pretend he's pregnant, but basically his logic, so Klinger's logic, is that those think he's crazy for him, Klinger, thinking that he could convince them that he's pregnant. That's Klinger's logic, that him trying to convince them is what's going to convince them that he's crazy. Of course, no. Colonel Blake is obvious Henry. He knows that Klinger's just doing another stunt and tells no one is going to be convinced that he's pregnant. And Klinger's like, yeah, because no sane person will do what he's doing right now. Which adds another layer of actually complicated logic to it. But it's just a fun little bit there. And that also leads into when General Mitchell arrives, where he surprised them. So Klinger's there, Henry's there, he's just wearing his skivvies, and Radar's there, and he ends up having to be behind some laundry that includes a dress at the time and all that. So it's kind of just some kind of more of a sitcom scene going on there, but it's still hilarious and gave me a good laugh. Frank trying to suck up to General Mitchell, because while Frank wasn't the surgeon on duty who performed the operation, he still wants to take credit. So he said that, he was supervising the potential assistance to the surgeon who's assisting the surgeon who's performing the operation. That's how Frank justified him being a part of the operation. Which is just such a Frank thing to do. And I think that actually concludes all I have to say, but I would love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you, always.